So I got super busy with prepping for my game tomorrow because they are heading into epic battle, and I wanted to make sure it was epic battle. Um, so I didn't get down here to trim it all today. I also didn't get down here to throw, but I am very happy that I stayed up late last night to get some throwing done. Um, so here we go. I have, oh, I just looked at the numbers. I think I have 11 to trim. So we're gonna see how far we get. I did bag all of I loosely bagged all of these last night. I'm sort of regretting not fully bagging them, but it's okay. We'll make it work. Um, I do have a few hours tomorrow. I have to unload the van and whatnot from Gary and Mike going out to Cleveland to get the ornaments. So I don't quite know how far I'm going to get with that tomorrow. Um, but yeah, there's 11 boxes. Each box is between 80 and 100 pounds. So there's just a lot there. So I can't lift that much. So I put each bag in 2 to 3 contractor bags. And I I lift them that way. Mom and Dad said that they would be awesome and they would start going through it for us once things are brought up to the living room. So we're not going to, no, we're not going to stress out too much about boxes and how it gets organized. Typically, I'm super duper anal about that. But my goal is to just have like 8 different boxes up there, and have them sort it that way. Because we have like 8 different sections to our booth, and then when the rest of the ornaments come in like October, then we can just kind of break out those into the correct boxes. Yeah. All right. So I moved a bunch of them upstairs. I moved a bunch of the ones that I did yesterday upstairs. Um, I did break one last night. I'm rather upset about that. I did not try to fix it yet. I think I am going to try to fix it just because I really liked that one. Um, but if I can't, that's okay. I will make it again. Um, so I'm working on 100 yarn bowls in 30 days. I'm actually doing pretty well with it. And tomorrow, I do every other Saturday a really busy gaming. Um, I have one game at 9:30 in the morning that runs till one about one in the afternoon, and then I have one that runs from 7 o'clock at night until 10 o'clock at night. And my husband is in both of them, but then he also runs a game from 2 till 5:30. So he's so his every other Saturday is super duper busy. I have the afternoon off. So while I have the afternoon off, I'll be working on the van. And then Saturday, then Sunday, I only have my Saturday evening game, which of course we have to cancel next week due to Father's Day. Okay. And okay. I typically do the bottom first. I don't know why I did doesn't matter why I did the top first. Ow. But I did. And so if I do the top first, or if I have to flip it over for any reason, I want to make sure that the swirl is in the middle there. Okay. But Mike and Gary are home now. They had a good trip. Gary brought me beer from Hansa, so I'm excited for that. Unfortunately, unless he brings me down some, I think that's a tomorrow problem. um, but she might. I'm not sure. I don't really know what his plan is. It might just be to go to bed. He had a very long drive. And if I were him, that would be what I want to do. My goal would be to go to bed. Okay. Was thinking about making drinking glasses that were rounded at the bottom, but heavy so that they would always stay upright. I don't know. I was thinking about it. Okay. As you can see, I did not get a chance to clean my wheel today. Um, Things just didn't work out as anticipated, which part of that was because I slept in a little bit after staying up so late. And Gary wasn't here, so I slept until like 9. Um, but I hope that everyone has an amazing time at the game tomorrow. I'm very excited to run a big bad evil guy. I don't always get to run um, sentient evil people. Yeah, I typically run a lot of like animals and whatnot, and or like creatures, monsters. Monsters, I think, is the correct word I'm looking for. Um, but like this is like sentient evil taking over the world and starting cults of Orcus, and so I'm excited for this one. Okay, so I really like these rings, so I don't want to get rid of any of that. So I just want to take down this a little bit and then flip it over and do the hook. I want to use a glaze that kind of falls on each of those lines. So I don't want to get rid of them. Actually, I don't even... need/want to trim this one. Okay. So this clay is standard clay. That's the make by standard. And this is buff with grog. And it is currently my favorite clay. I don't really know how else to describe it. It acts the way that I want clay to act when I'm throwing it, which is not very descriptive at all. I will say that with the grog in it, it's very gritty, but it also stands up well to being thrown with larger pieces. It doesn't try to collapse. I call it the Claire White. I call it cream cheese clay because it has a very it is the consistency of it is cream cheese, and I'm not a fan. Not a fan. So my husband's character tomorrow, one of the other players bought him something um in character. So I'm going to have a delivery boy running up to them in the temple, going, I heard you were here, or my master heard you were here, and wanted to make sure you got this before you left. You're heroes! And deliver the thing to them. I can't discuss what the thing is because, people might be watching. But I will discuss that. Maybe I'll discuss that in tomorrow's video. When I'm actually able to get down here tomorrow. Because by that point, that game will be over. Not over, but, done for the day. Okay. All right. Done. Done. Next. we're gonna flip this board over because I have made it bow. Okay. All right. I don't see any, no chats yet. Okay. I've been on here with my Saturday night group, chatting and whatnot. I did not log into Discord tonight. Sometimes I just want to be alone with my own thoughts. That's so dry. You can see that that is white and that is still wet. So I'm probably going to have to cut on this side to make it a little bit easier. Yeah, this is dry, dry. Okay, so what we're going to do for this one, we're going to take this off the thing, put that down there. Going to take this, come on, off the thing. You'll see more of my dirty wheel head, or dirty wheel in general. Hopefully I will have time to clean that tomorrow. I wish there was more hours in a day. But we're just going to turn that on nice and slow and let friction and strength do its thing. Okay. So my wheel is so disgusting that my fingers got into the sludge in there. Yeah, I need more hours in a day, guys. Just more hours in a day. All right. So there's that. Can't take too much time for cleanup because I do need to get back on with this challenge. Just keep hearing my phone bloop bloop. There we go. Where's my... And just like me, I've lost my phone. Oh, there it is. Okay. So I'm going to... Ooh. That's too high. Maybe not. Okay. All right. Oh, I could care less about the MMA thing. Okay. Why do I feel like this is like... All right, well. Okay. Yeah, so my Saturday night group, um, they are following a celestial that was sent by a hag to find someone who was teleported away because of the deck of many things. Um, and they are going to travel to the Feywild, which is going to have interesting consequences in game. That I am very excited to watch play out. Um, um, but it's one of those things of I never know what's going to happen, which I love. Um, I love setting my players up in a world and just being like, here, muck with it. I love you too. That was Gary. Not quite sure what he's doing. Oh, maybe he's moving boxes upstairs. All right. Let's get it's a little wibbly. I think I'm going to take the rest down with a grinder later. Okay. All right. So, yeah, we're a little wibbly. All right. So there's the dry side. This is the semi-wet side. I just hear Gary going up and down the stairs with the trolley. I feel like I need to stop and go help him. But if I do that, I'm never going to get done today. Hi. Are you being crazy? You're done? My husband's insane. My husband's insane. He is amazing. You're amazing. Okay. Okay. He just slugged somewhere between 88 and 111 pounds. Yeah, somewhere between 80 and 100 pounds each. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. You're amazing. That's crazy. Well, I guess I don't have to do that tomorrow. So that's awesome. So that means that tomorrow I can continue working down here, which is amazing. Because I was really concerned that I wasn't going to be able to tomorrow. Okay. Um, well then, so I'm gonna have 4 to 4.5 hours of dedicated work tomorrow. And if it takes me roughly 15 minutes to throw something, 4 times 4 is 16. So I think I'm gonna plan to do 6 um 6 of the 6 pounders and then 10 of the 4 pounders That'll get me through 4 bags. That'll get me through most of what's on the table there, I think, bag-wise. And whatever it doesn't, I think I will put on the shelving up here. And then I can have all of that room for bowls. I'm playing a game where I have to be on right at 10 o'clock. Love you a whole lot. No, I don't. No, I don't know what you're doing. Okay, he's currently doing litter boxes now after getting home from an 8-hour drive and then lugging over 1,000 pounds worth of ornaments up the stairs. I just want to. Okay. Now this is dry, dry. Um, go ahead and do. Hmm. Mm. Um, all right. All right. Um, Okay. Nice. All right. So this is what's called, well, it's not even dry sanding, it's dry trimming. Either way, don't do it. Um, it's super bad for your lungs. And if you do have to do it at any point, wear a mask. I just got a bunch of text messages, and I think it's because I don't know what day it is, and um, Gary had to correct one of my group chats. Hee hee. I'm betting. Okay, and that is nice and flat. Okay. All right. Now, man, I do not want to carve into this bowl. It is so dry. It is going to chip so easily. So we're actually going to have to scrape it away. So this one's going to be a simple hook. So all the pottery people out there catching a half a second of this video going, no, 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 that's not how you do it. You waited too long. You're right, I did. You're right. 100%. Should I be wearing a mask? Absolutely. Am I wearing a mask? No, I'm not. Am I invincible? Nope, not at all. All right. Simple little hook. Shoop. All the dust into there. Okay. Now, I'm not going to throw anything today, so I think I'm going to put this right back there again. Um, yeah, Tuesday is my friend's birthday week that I go food shopping with every Tuesday. So she's going on vacation, and I will be left to my own devices. Okay. Yeah, so I'm thinking tomorrow I'm gonna do 6 pounds, 5 4 pounds, and then I can trim them on Sunday. Okay. Oh, which way I want my swoop to go. That way. I'm not used to working with my hair down. Something I want to get used to again. Next time I think I'm going to have her cut it shorter. Okay. All right, that one is done. Text message, boop. Text message, boop. Okay. All right. Got nothing else over here to do. So now I think I just have the 4 over there. Okay. Oh, 1, 2, 3, maybe 6. 6. Okay. Just knocked over a bucket. Okay. If I leave it there, I'm going to do it again. Okay. All right. Now I have a spot here, and I technically have a spot up here. Actually, let's move this one. There we go. Okay. So much room. I'm fine. Not running out of room tonight. Okay. All right. I am going to throw up a shield. And I will deal with attacking tomorrow. Okay. Playing a game called Last War. It's the same as any of these other war type games. You get into an alliance, and if you're in a good peaceful server, it's great. If you're not, it sucks. Um, okay. Okay. All right. I agree. A good alliance in empires and puzzles. 8 years I've been with them. That's fair. Yeah, but do you guys like, I don't know. I don't feel like empires and puzzles is the same as like all the other war games on the market right now. Because like you don't have to like build a base and go out and attack people and then get attacked and having to keep rebuilding armies. And I feel like that's a whole different game. Although at least you get to keep playing games in that one. Like the war games, they kind of like suck you in with their ads to like to play stuff, and then um you don't really get to play much of those mini games. Want to do? Sure, I can do Discord voice. Why not?
Oh, private call.
Private call.
Uh,
So, tell us all about your adventure the past 2 days.
my adventures the last 2 days. Um, I went to Cleveland. Picked up our friend Mike in Coopersville, near Hellertown. So that was an hour, and then 6 hours out to Cleveland, and I drove directly. I knew my priorities directly to Hansa Brewery. Was looking forward to a delicious meal, and unfortunately, their cook had a death in the family, so no food, but yummy beer. And he's actively making Lichtenheinen, which it was not ready, unfortunately, but will be ready in a couple weeks. Benny thinks that he'll have it in November when we go back. So I have to get some Lichtenheinen because you can't get beer like that anywhere. It's a German recipe from the 1400s. I think he said 1400s. It's a really old recipe.
Isn't that the peasant beer?
It is the smoky sour peasant beer, but it was unlike anything else.
That is true.
I always try to get it, and he hasn't had it, and he has it. So that's amazing. Your map looks amazing, Allie.
Yeah, you like that?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Cool, cool.
Um, so we tried to go to Bartleby's because it was really awesome there when we went the one time,
Hmm.
but they didn't open till 6, and it was only 5. We weren't going to wait an hour. So we were walking back to the van, and I noticed Great Lakes Brewing. So I gave the story of our time with Josh, and we went into Great Lakes Brewing, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that table that we got the emergency alert from." Uh huh. Memories. We sat down, but Mike didn't seem thrilled with the menu, so we left. And we put in Fatheads, but the closest one was, I think, in the ballpark.
Okay.
Which, by the way, they changed the Cleveland Indians to the Guardians. I won't get into any of that, but like, wow, shocking. I didn't realize that they had done that. Um, so we went, yeah. So I put in the hotel, and then I added a stop for Fatheads, and there was one like just down the road, like 3 or 4 minutes. So, and it was actually before the hotel anyway. So we went to Fatheads, and then to the hotel,
Cool.
and um, yeah, the hotel was. Um, I mean, there was a lot of space in general. 2 bedrooms in a hotel room. You don't usually see that. Usually you get like 2 beds if you're lucky,
Yeah,
and
that's
so
crazy.
2 bedrooms. But I just like the bathroom door had like a dent in it. Like it was very poor repair,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
um,
like I was saying yesterday, like, no offense, I don't feel like I paid enough to get you guys 2 bedrooms.
hmm,
But I guess, if it was run down and whatnot.
yeah. So I made a monster for my game. So I'm trying to put together a one shot. I still need
Okay.
to hear from Aaron how his one shot went.
Mr. Kenny, look
Steve's
at the
making
screen.
Steve's making. You gotta give me a second. Steve's
Give
making.
me a second.
Yeah, but I'm not in YouTube currently, so you gotta give me a second to like switch over.
Oh.
There we go. And oh my god, that's so cute.
Right?
Yeah, but I'm reverbing now. I gotta I gotta close out of that. That was really cute though. I love it. So yeah, I need to find out how. Oh, Steve's making monsters for my sister. So he wanted to try to make his own before he looked at Aaron's guide, and I said it's a great idea because well he had said because he won't before he you know uh, has his ideas like changed by what other people have done. He wanted to take a stab at it on his own, which yeah, fair. Because that's how you're going to get fresh ideas is if people keep like innovating.
Absolutely.
Um, which reminds me, on the way home, I think I had a breakthrough, and that's the thing. Like making a game is just about solving a bunch of problems that you see, and every time you solve a problem, you find another one. But and you just can't get frustrated with it. You have to just like you can't force that creativity. You just like you know just keep mulling over a little bit, just let it marinate, and then the answers come.
Hmm.
But the healing not being good enough, and then I had this idea of like over channel. And my initial idea was you could just add 5 to the DC to like Well, each spell would have its own overchannel effect, but essentially it would probably double the ability. So instead of 4 healing on Cure Wounds, it would do 8. But then I think that plays weird with other things like mm, I think it plays weird with the spell levels being added on, and like for upcasting and that. So I think what I would do is use the other mechanic to make things harder, which is taking dice away. So maybe if you can over channel by removing one of your dice to make it harder. So you would get 46 base as long as you weren't exhausted in your attribute, and then you could do it at a higher DC. Well, not a higher DC, but same DC. You take a die away, and you get you know uh, double the benefit. But are you willing to lose a die, which could ultimately cause you to lose the spell? Um, anyway, I think it's interesting. Over channel as a possibility.
Cool.
Um,
Hi, Simon.
Another possibility is like currently I have it gated to where like you can't upcast to second level until you can cast second level spells. But maybe you just don't have access to second level spells, but you can upcast your lower spells as high as you want. Because you don't get a whole lot. You currently you only get like an extra hit point on cure wounds or an extra damage on a damage spell. So like, if you feel like you can uh, if you feel like you can hit a higher DC, go for it. Go for it. And I think ultimately that's where the game's going to land anyway. I'm thinking like people could do like a power attack or something like a martial as a way to increase their DC. Because once they get down to like 10, 11, 12, they're not. It's more about how hard are you going to hit at that point. But if you could add maneuvers and things for like increases to your DC, um, you know, that also kind of simulates you becoming a better fighter because you can do more things, and you just increase your DC to. And I think maybe gated behind your level is how many of those things that you can add. Like so, maybe at like I don't know what level. Let's say 3. You can add um, one extra like maneuver of some description, a power attack, a cleave. Um, there's just an increase to your DC though. Because currently, like marshals don't have anything to increase their DC, but spellcasters, all of their spells do add to their DC. So spellcasters have that balance. Marshals don't currently. I think that's a way to make the marshals more interesting and make it so that you're not always rolling against that low number. But then again, another interesting choice is though, like if you did end up exhausting your attack stat and maybe you don't add maneuvers to increase your DC because you're exhausted now and you can like barely hit because you only have like 2 or 3 D6. So, but mechanically, that does very well represent being exhausted. I think that you're not going to try to do these elaborate things. So I don't know. I think it's cool. I have to see it in practice though. Anyway, that's like way off topic, but I made a monster, so yay. And then I've been talking to Mike, during the ride, of course. So what else we're gonna do for 6 hours? And I just started making. Well, I read one of the books that he had brought about the. I think it's the Verduran Forest of Taldor, and I mean you listen to the book, so you know the names more maybe. But Taldor, the Endor, it's the Shining Kingdoms anyway. That area north of the Inner Sea, and I don't know. Are you still there? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Right.
Yeah, I haven't heard of those places. They haven't been in any of my books yet.
Salvador, really? Okay, that's a big place. I thought maybe, but it's the oldest of those countries in that area. Anyway, um,
Look at you learning Pathfinder lore and stuff.
Galt, I think was though, right? Galt was in one of your books, Galt, Galt. Well, it's not spelled out in an audio book, but I'll tell you what's really cool about the books. Like, my issue is it's too much, and then that's only a small portion of the entire world of Galarian. So, to know it all is it's too much. But if you were going to run an adventure in like a country, in a specific country,
Hmm.
like a book like that could be invaluable because it has like the front page breakdown of like and with images for the deities and for like everything, so it's really visual and easy to see what the gods that are worshipped in that country are, what kinds of goods they produce, what languages they speak, what kind of ancestries are there. There's like a nice picture to depict like what the country's like, and then there's sidebar with the like thousands of years of history for the country, and then a whole bunch of other information, and then there's a stat block because Pathfinder has stat blocks for the cities. So like the capital city has a stat block that tells you like what level the settlement is. The level determines what kind of stuff you can buy there. So like the one country that I really liked is there was like a mountain kingdom. It was like the capital was a ninth level settlement, so you could expect to find items up to level 9 in that place. Maybe 10 or 11, but you wouldn't find anything higher than that probably. Um, And then there's like, some character options, like some feats and some spells and some, items particular to that area. And, you know, it comes down to, I suppose, like, if you were playing Pathfinder Society, you owned the book, you were playing a character from one of those countries and you wanted to use that stuff, like, that's how that all kind of changed together. But my problem is like when I'm looking for a book of player options, like say in D&D terms, Xanathar's Guide, Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. I want a book that is all the player options. I don't want to weed through like a bunch of lore to find like a couple bits and pieces here and there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think
So
that's how D&D has gone too now with all the different books.
there
Like I
are
don't think
like in
they'll
setting
ever
books.
put out a full
Yeah, like
book
in
anymore.
well, I mean, obviously, Player's Handbook is like that. This new book that's coming out, I'm not sure. I think it's going to have a lot of content, though. I don't know if it's equivalent to Xanathar's Guide, but I think it may have a lot of warlocks and a lot. It might have 4 more subclasses for all the classes, plus the Artificer, plus the Scion. It might have a lot of. There might be a lot of player content in that book. I'm not sure, but people have been putting out like videos on the Scion, and the Artificer's definitely in that new book. And people have been putting out like the Hexblade and the Genie. Like I think they're putting more subclasses. Um, so it might be that kind of source book. It might not be a setting. But yeah, I mean, like they do have the setting books that have like this race in there. Like the Ravnica one has Loxodon and you know Minotaurs. So there's that. And I think that's fine. Like, a setting book having races that are specific to the setting is good because if you were going to play in that setting, you would want people to have access to them. But I don't know. Put all the player-facing stuff in one spot so I can find it easy, and I don't have to like flip through an entire book to find the thing that I'm looking for.
Hmm.
That's all. That's what I'm
I
saying.
agree.
I will say. Huh? I will say though that one thing that Paizo definitely does better is page numbers for things. You know,
Hmm.
in the index in the back, they have um, page numbers and the book that all of the stuff can be found in. So if you can't find something that's referenced um, in the book,
Hmm.
it tells you what book and what page in that book to find it.
Interesting.
I feel like half the time you can't even get Wizards of the Coast to tell you what page something's on in their own books, let alone like go to this book,
Yeah,
and they don't even always tell you what book to find stuff in. Um, yeah, I read that book, and then we talked about some other stuff, which was cool, like Absalom Station for Starfinder, and um, the setting's not really for me, but I don't know, maybe it's worth getting player core for Starfinder just to have it for like maybe playing with Nico or whatever. Um, yeah. I'm just not really a fan of like the high tech. Uh, I just want the fantasy
that's fair.
typically, which is weird because I was constantly trying to put guns in D&D, and um, kind of over that now. Although I play a gunslinger, so go figure.
Mm-hmm.
Man. Well, anyway, um, so I built a new character. I think it's my 10th Pathfinder Society character. I haven't registered it yet because until I do Midjourney, I didn't want to register it. But it is a trip key, which is a frog person, or in D&D terms, a grung, and it has the sticky toe ancestry, which means that when I make an athletics check to climb, if I get a success, I get a critical success. Um, I don't really plan to do very well with that because my character has an 8 strength, 12 dexterity, a 12 constitution, a 14 intelligence, an 18 wisdom, and a 14 charisma. So, uh, and he's a druid, a wildfire type druid. I forget. It's not called wildfire, I don't think, in Pathfinder. I don't remember what it's called. Um, but
Fire druid of
um,
some description.
yeah, so with the 8 strength, he's -1, and I did not make him trained in athletics, so he has -1 to athletics. But if I roll an 11 or better, that's is that a success? Or it depends on the situation, or is it 15? Or I get a +1. I don't remember. I think I get a +1 because of my sticky toes. So maybe I'm flat. But then if I get a success, I get a critical success, so I can climb further. But the main reason is because at level 5, I'll take. Like here's the thing, right? Like I hate to think builds further into advance, and Pathfinder does kind of require a little bit. But I also looked ahead. Well, I didn't even realize it was because I was building it on my phone. But there is for the sticky toe. Well, actually, I think all grown can get it, but for the sticky toe, it's better. You actually can get a 10-foot climb speed, and then if you are sticky toe, that climb speed is 20 feet. So, so at level 5, it won't even matter because I'll have a 20-foot climb speed.
Cool.
But in the meantime, I don't know. He'll be like a little bit better at climbing, but uh, he's an emissary from the Magambia, from Natambu, which is that like jungle academy, the jungle college magic school. Um, so he has multilingual. I think he has. I think it's 10 languages. He got 2 from multilingual. He got common and Tripkey from his ancestry. plus 4 extra languages from his intelligence, and then Wild Song, which is their version of Druidic. And part of my challenge with it is to actually play a legit Vancian spellcaster because I have avoided it like the plague in Pathfinder. The only characters that I have that actually um, really cast spells is Miros as a 5th level magus, and but that's different and weird. He's kind of more martial anyway, yeah, or like half-half. And I have a cleric, but I've only played him once, so this is an opportunity to play a build that I had in my mind for a while. The other thing that's cool with this druid is what I have the ability to see through smoke. So, like those cinder rats, I could see them. They're not concealed to me because I can see
Mm-hmm.
through their smoke. And I resist fire, fire resistance, I think. It's like fire lung is the ability. And then my focus spell is pretty cool. It creates a wildfire. Sustain up to a minute. Creates a 10-foot burst. Emanation, burst. I don't know. But see, the thing, I didn't realize what a 10-foot burst was. It's actually a plus sign. So it's a bigger area than I thought.
Cool.
But what's really cool is when I sustain it, it grows. Which is cool because it's like wildfire spreading. Um, yeah, I don't know. It seems really thematic. But the biggest thing, that Mike told me with like a spellcaster that kind of gets you around the Vancian end of it, or if you have a dedication that gives you one spell, is that you can use all magical items from that tradition: scrolls, wands, staves. But on the scroll end, um, I can have scrolls of heal. Destroy it. You with Rikiki can have scrolls of heal, and the other players can request scrolls of heal and give them to you.
Okay.
Because casting heal is better than a potion,
Mm-hmm.
so we could just load you up with free scrolls of heal. Um, I never even really considered that,
Yeah,
but
neither have
you know
I.
how like the warlock, only has 2 spell slots in D&D.
Uh-huh.
Well, people often say that the warlocks should either dabble in creating their own scrolls or buy scrolls so that they have, more spells. And that's kind of this. You just use scrolls. You don't have many spell slots, and you have to put a specific spell into that slot, but then you just buy scrolls for things, which but I mean, the low level scrolls are cheap in Pathfinder, so you'll probably be shocked to hear this. But like a first level scroll. Actually, I don't even know if you know the math on all of it. A first level scroll in 5th edition is 25 gold. I think 25 gold. I think so. Is it 50? I think it's
Fi
25.
50.
Is it 50?
Yep.
What is it? A cantrip is 25. I could have sworn it was 25. I'm gonna look.
Yeah,
I'm sure it is
maybe.
now. But anyway, a first level scroll in Pathfinder is 4 gold. That is dirt cheap. I mean, at first level, you don't get a lot of gold from an adventure. You only get like 12.
Right.
But but um, but 4 gold. I mean, if I had disposable income as a character, I might pick up a bunch of those just to like have that flexibility. Now, Bob can technically do it, and I do. I have been taking heal scrolls with him. I could talk about him for a second if you want. But he has wizard casting. Yeah, Yeah. He has one first level wizard slot, so he can cast wizard spells. He can use scrolls, but he also has trick magic items, so he can use scrolls from other traditions. So he can use cleric scrolls, but he has to make a religion check to use it. Where like if he just had divine casting, he wouldn't need that. Now, um, here's the clunky thing with Bob though is, and you know, this is like the Pathfinder action tax. It's his weapon is two hands, and because of the bulky nature of it, it actually takes an action to remove a hand from his weapon to resume. It can be fired one or two handed, but in order to either assume a two handed grip or go to a one handed grip, you have to spend an action.
Right.
Normally in Pathfinder, you can just drop the hand for free. Well, you know, it's also an action to draw the scroll, right? So it's an action to take my hand off the gun, an action to draw the scroll, and then if I want to do the two action heal, which why wouldn't I do a two action heal? Um, I don't have two actions left to do it. So literally for me, I could like fire my gun, leave it unloaded, drop to a one-handed grip, draw the scroll, and in the next round cast a two-handed, a two-action heal, and then resume my two-handed grip on my Giselle. Or maybe if I reload, I can resume the two-handed grip. I'm not 100% on that. But anyway, it's very clunky. Like him in combat with scrolls, he can do it, but man, is it slow. It's like two rounds to like use the scroll and go back to normal. All right. Anyway, um, spell scroll cantrips are 30. Level one or 50. Yeah, 50 gold for a level one. But I would say that like that level one spell scroll is better than a potion of healing. I guess the thing is that you technically maybe you aren't supposed to be able to use the spell scroll unless yeah, because here if the spell is on your class's spell list, you can read the scroll and cast it normally. Um, um, so I guess like normally not everybody would be able to use like say a scroll of healing word. I like the way that we do it though, that we just let anybody use whatever scroll. Because the magic's in the scroll, really. I think I like that. But the thing is, healing word now does 2d4, and the healing potion is 2d4. But and they're both bonus actions now. But healing word can be done at well, I guess there's the thing. The potion is a bonus action. The scroll, I think, actually takes your action, even though healing word is a bonus action. I think, unless we usually rule it that using a scroll of healing word is a bonus action because the spell is a bonus action. I'm not really clear on how we actually do that, but anyway.
Um, I always want to say that it's a full action to read a scroll, but
Mm-hmm.
I think I've always actually ruled it that it just takes a bonus action.
The casting of the spell, whatever it is.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, um, uh, you know, healing
because
word
I'm a
is just
nice
better.
DM.
60 feet versus like touch, and it's the same cost. So healing word scrolls do make they do make regular potions of healing kind of obsolete in a lot of ways. Um, so built my druid the way that I do on paper, and then he was really nice, and he handed me a blank Pathfinder character sheet. He handed it to me early, and I was like, "Thank you," but like when I'm actually building the character, like I just need to kind of like map it all out this way. Um, so then sleep time, get up in the morning. read another book, and then we went to breakfast, which I found another broken egg cafe. Um, I was bad, but you know, when in Cleveland, and also, um, you know, going to more exotic places. Uh, I had your pancakes, the ones that you had. I think you gave me a little bit of them. They
Yeah.
were like the banana bourbon ones.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so a good breakfast. And then we went and got the ornaments, and that was, well, it was a little interesting at first because the main door was locked, and there was another door I went in, but it like went into an employee area, and I was like, I don't know. And I just called out, and somebody came. But like their time clock was there and stuff.
Hmm.
And then they told me to go around to the back. So I went around to the back. I figured that's what I needed to do, but like, I wanted to just let them know I was there. And yeah, they wheeled over the thing and helped me load it in. And then I talked to them for a little bit, and then we headed on the road. And I did really good driving, so we made it like the first 4 hours without stopping at all. And we stopped for dinner at the Twilight Diner. We had a tuna sandwich, but they made it on pizza dough, like uh, folded the pizza dough around it, kind of like a pita.
Cool.
Yeah, pretty brilliant, honestly. And then I debated some moonshine, but you don't like apple, and they had like apple pie moonshine, and they had lemonade moonshine and peach moonshine, and I wasn't sure, so I opted to not, and then and drove the rest of the way back to Mike's without stopping, and 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 I drove home, and I unloaded 1,300 pounds of ornaments. Then I cleaned up the cat room. Now I'm airing it out, and that was my time. That was my time.
Cool.
And I saw you yesterday, lots thrown.
Did a
I
lot
had
yesterday.
yeah,
A lot of trimming. I did a lot of throwing. I did a lot yesterday. Unfortunately, did not do a lot of reclaim, and I didn't do any painting. So hopefully tomorrow I will get those things done. Um, okay. I think I have one more to trim. And then I am done for the evening.
screenshot this table, put it into a handout in roll 20, and then um, oh, I need to. This is about that time that I need to update like the time of the games. Next game Saturday, the 7th. Okay, 500. see. Details I give. So let's do Caves of Chaos and change the date to the 11th at 7. Save. As far as that game goes, I have decided and I told them that if they get off track and just start chit chatting, I'm not going to talk over them. And they are, they're just going to go off rails, and I'm just going to sit here and listen. And when they're ready, I will continue.
That is how I run my Saturday game.
Because the players in that game, 3 of them have a very good, like, very easy to go off the rails and just start like talking about a whole bunch of bullshit that has nothing to do with the game,
Yep.
and
Well, and I
they just
think
keep going.
one of the things that you have to really think about is um, they don't leave the house for work. So they don't talk to people and see people and chit chat with people and all
Yeah,
of
that's
that.
true. That's true.
So like this is their socialization time.
Yeah, yeah. Because the thing is that oh no, it's not right. Uh, this one. I could be a stickler. I could. It's not really fair to me or the other 2 players who might be more focused.
Hmm.
And we're there to play a game.
Right.
Um, but if half the players are, not paying attention and sometimes it's nice because I can actually take that time to prepare something,
Uh-huh.
depending on what they're doing.
Yeah.
But other times, it totally derails everything. I need to make a handout, and this is the monsters table. Then go to here. It's gonna be picture screenshots. Yeah, go to the bottom.
All right.
Oops. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna leave all of this in there. And I'll use a glaze that runs and we'll catch on all of that.
Okay, cool. So that will help me, and I will just take a look at the monster. And then I'll have it to look at when I should put it in Monday's game too. I could always just transmogrify it though too. Alright, so what I wanted to look at is the monsters that they're going to face in Scar. And are they um, are they right? And I didn't update their hit points here either. I don't think so. Like I had updated the tokens, but not the tokens that are already on the map. That's the issue. But let's see, Ogre Warrior. It is a creature 4. So according to Dungeon Coach, it should have 18 hit points. This thing has 27. It should have a PD 13, 80, 13. I have PD 12, 80, 15. I guess that's like fine. They don't need to be the same numbers. All of his have the same numbers. That's kind of lame, I think. Right? Is
Yep.
that lame?
Yes.
I mean, if it's a suggestion and then maybe you tweak it up or down, but why have two defenses if they're exactly the same?
Right.
Uh, this is going to be the important thing. Base damage, 3.5. What the hell does my creature do as damage? 1. Like that's the problem. That's a big piece of my problem. But it's because I'm basing it on them using a weapon and what the base damage of the weapon is, and um, basing the game around using uh, you know, it's a 1 to 2 point damage game, but I've clearly seen that player abilities. That's not true. That is
Hmm.
not true. Is 27 hit points too much? My original Ogre Warrior only had 18. 18 is what he says that they should have. So I could leave it. I definitely need to. I could leave their tokens anyway. I definitely need to change the damage though. And the thing is too, he puts 3.5, but really that's 4 because DC 20 rounds up. So that base damage should be 4. Um, okay, that's that is going to be a shocker. And I think if they're dealing 4 damage on just a hit, keeping the hit points at 18 is fine. And I think my defense is fine, right? Because he says 13-13, I've got 12-15. I think that's fine. I think that's fine. He doesn't have might, agility, charisma, intelligence for them. Attack bonus +5. I have +6. I mean, it's 1 higher, but maybe that's fine. Save DC 15. I assume doesn't have a save DC. Uh, yeah, 16. So its save DC is 1 higher. That's because it has a higher prime at +4 for a level 4 creature is higher than it should be. Uh, I could I could drop its save DC to 15. That's fine. Do I lower its attack to +5 or leave it? I'm just gonna leave it at +6. My creature's hardly hit as it is. Um,
I am done.
Prime 3, Combat Mastery 2. Total feature power per player features 3. What the hell is total feature powers per player features?
All right. Well, if you've been following along, thank you so much. Um,
Yeah.
I have officially trimmed everything that I threw yesterday. So I will turn this nice little thing over here to black, showing that I'm done. Um, and tomorrow I'll have new totals. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. 100 yarn bowls, 30 days. Let's go!